they would let let investigations into the killing run their course before making any final decisions. Some legal experts have said the fact that prosecutors dropped charges after a grand jury indictment suggested they may have doubts about the version of events told by police. Okay, so again, the basic idea is that on March 13th, Breonna Taylor is in her apartment with her boyfriend, Kenneth Walker. And there's loud banging at the door, according to Kenneth Walker, and the police would say that they knocked on the door too. And Kenneth Walker, the boyfriend, says, and the police did end up, the police had a warrant to do it was a knock and announce, where they would knock and the police, and ultimately, from what I understand, the warrant did allow them to bash down the door if nobody let them in. So it seems like both sides agree that there was a knock at the door, or there was loud banging on the door. The sides disagree on whether the police announced themselves as police, or at least announced themselves as police in some way that the people inside would hear. So Kenneth Walker says he just didn't know who was at the door. The door was bashed, was rammed down, and he fired his gun once at the door and struck one of the officers. And at that point, the officers fired back into the apartment, and Breonna Taylor was struck 5 times, and she ended up dying. So there's one big question is, did the officers announce themselves properly? There's also a question about the conduct of the officers when firing. One of the officers was fired, as you can see here, who shot 10 rounds blindly into the apartment. So this is a Louisville police chief. Louisville police fired one of the officers, Brett Hankinson. The police chief said Mr. Hankinson wantonly and blindly fired 10 rounds into Miss Taylor's apartment on the night she was killed. The police chief of Louisville said one of the officers violated its policy on the use of deadly force, saying he wantonly and blindly fired 10 shots into Miss Taylor's apartment. Okay, so we're going to hear whether any of the officers will be charged or not. There's a tense situation in Louisville about this, and yeah, it's a pretty complex case in the sense of you have different, on the police side, you have the police with a warrant. The police, they did knock on the door. They claim they announced themselves. That's not clear. But on the police side, whatever the announcement was, when they bashed down the door, there was a gun fired at them, and one of the officers was shot. So that did happen, and they fired back. So on the police side, you could have the police saying, well, we were serving a warrant and we knocked down the door and somebody immediately shot at us, so we fired back. So, that's on the face of it an understandable position. Then on the other side, you have Breonna Taylor's boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, he says, well, I didn't, basically, I didn't know who was at the door, and these people in the middle of the night, they bashed down my door, and I fear for our safety. So he fired the gun, and then also, and his side is, they didn't say who they were. Which, if that's the case, you understand that side. I understand that side of it too. Then there's the other side of like, if the police fired back, did they do it in a way that was targeted enough, or was the fire in some sense indiscriminate in a dangerous way? Because Breonna Taylor ended up got shot 5 times. Then there's this whole other issue of, as you saw from that previous article, they said that the dispatch logs said that Breonna Taylor received no medical treatment for 20 minutes? Let's see here. What happened to that part of the article? Now I can't find it. I wonder if they updated this article. It was just there. Breonna Taylor, 20 minutes. Can I find this? Yeah, Breonna Taylor lay untouched for 20 minutes after being shot. Courier Journal. So there's that. Is that, I don't know if that's something that would, I don't know if that has any, if there could be criminal charges related to that, or maybe somebody could file a civil lawsuit. So I don't know if that could be something anyone is charged for, or if, or if that's just something that makes you liable to some sort of civil suit. Anyways, and then there's also I certainly see the arguments on both sides. Again, on the police side, police could say something like, well, we were serving a warrant, nobody came to the door, we backed down the door, and then someone fired back. On the side of Breonna Taylor, the boys announced themselves. We didn't know who was coming to the door. It was the middle of the night. I didn't know who was breaking down our door. I was fearful for our safety, so I fired my gun at them. And then, also the fire back was indiscriminate. So, I certainly, it's a case where there are arguments on both sides, and there's a big dispute over whether the police announced themselves properly at the door, and also whether the firing itself was somehow, when the police fired inside the apartment after one of their officers was shot, was that firing in some way indiscriminate, careless, negligent, that kind of thing. So anyways, we're going to get this announcement at 1:30 p.m. from the Attorney General of Kentucky. 1:30 p.m. on whether there will be charges of any of the officers in this case. And we are covering this live here, and we're going to take some comments from you guys on the air. And I just wanted to go over the details of the case for people who had not been following it. But we will be bringing you this live in about 17. Big thanks to our moderators, by the way. I do appreciate it. Danny James is moderating. Uche Kabbalah is moderating. Thank you for being there. In our YouTube chat room. Also our Periscope moderator. Misha is there moderating there. Thank you, Misha. Sharon Craig is there. And also our Facebook moderators like Kimberly Peterson, Courtney Lane, Shay Durner, Joe Serino, Dan Lindquist, Josh Tompkins, Ann Remington, Denise Fredrickson. Thank you. Hang on 1 second. And thanks to our Twitch moderators as well, Eliza, Idaho Star, and Sort of Wonderful. Thank you. All right, I want to take some comments from you guys. What are your thoughts on this? At Lookner on Twitter. Let me just do a quick check and see. This is a post from Paula Vasson, who I believe is a local reporter. Yes. The tension is palpable, not just here in Louisville, getting messages from people around the country expressing anxiety and support for Breonna Taylor as we await a decision on her case in the Jefferson County grand jury. So we not only have the question of what the grand jury decision will be, but what will be the reaction in Louisville and around the country to the grand jury decision. Oh, hold on a second. Here's an update from Jesse Cohen, who's a local reporter in Louisville. Chris W. News is in the room where the Kentucky Attorney General will make his announcement in just a few minutes. He's reporting the Attorney General's office is determining if there were criminal violations of state law by Louisville police officers, the 3 Louisville officers who were conducting the raid. We are learning they did not investigate claims of civil negligence, Kenneth Walker or Breonna Taylor, and they didn't investigate a narcotics case against Jarvis Glover or the obtainment of the search warrant. So it sounds like what she's saying is one of the reporters for this news station is saying that that the focus of this announcement and of this investigation, I guess, the Attorney General, the focus of the Attorney General's office announcement, it sounds like is going to be whether the officers were charged, whether the officers should be charged. But that's going to, I mean, this is a grand jury decision. So basically what's happened is prosecutors have been presenting evidence to a grand jury. As I understand it, this is a grand jury decision. Here, let's see here. Grand jury to present report on Breonna Taylor shooting. Now, with a grand jury, my understanding is, now maybe this grand jury is being used differently somebody. Normally with a grand jury, prosecutors go to a grand jury to get approval for charges. But I'm not familiar with, is there some sort of other use of a grand jury that's being used in Louisville? I'm not sure. To investigate something. I mean, as I understand it, a grand jury's what they're supposed to do is decide whether to charge someone. Yeah, look, I mean, dictionary, a grand jury, a jury typically of 23 people selected to examine the validity of an accusation before a trial. But this says, Wikipedia, a grand jury, is a group of citizens empowered by law to conduct legal proceedings and investigate potential criminal conduct and determine whether criminal charges should be brought. Okay. So it sounds like the focus of the press conference is going to be, and the announcement is going to be whether the officers are charged or not. That is coming up in 12 minutes. Chris Prowse says, did any of the 10 shots from the cop that got fired for shooting recklessly hit the woman? I read an article today that said it wasn't clear which officer's bullets hit Breonna Taylor. I read an article that said that. I can't confirm that, but there was one of the articles I read today said it had not been determined yet whose shots hit, which officer's shots hit Breonna Taylor.
Why haven't y'all determined that yet? Can't y'all do?
That's an article that I read.
Bullet forensics.
And I don't know.
But y'all don't want to do all that shit, huh? For the black
girl. The best I can say is I read that this morning, but
that's crazy.
I stand to be corrected. Oh yeah, look. Oh, here's this. Police haven't said who fired the 5 shots that struck Taylor. So maybe they know, but they haven't been released. This is from the Courier-Journal. Police haven't said who fired the 5 shots that struck Taylor. So it's not public knowledge. But now that was from August 31st. That article. Higgett Gamer says, it seems odd that body cameras aren't mandatory in the USA for police. It would solve the issue regarding knock and announce. Now, Higgett Gamer, I certainly agree with Higgett Gamer that if we had body cam footage, that would answer a lot of the questions in this case. But we do not.
Yeah, but why? Why is there no body cam footage?
Well, now look and see. Now this says officers. The New York Times officers did not activate their body cameras during the encounter or during the raid that ended in. Sorry, no. Officers did not activate their body cameras during the raid that ended in Miss Taylor's death. I don't really know the background of the whole body camera story on this case, but the officers did not activate their body cameras.
And that's that bullshit. How come y'all ain't turning your cameras on when y'all doing the no-knock raid? But y'all got a battering ram to bust down somebody's door though.
Okay, we're about to, at 1:30. Oh, hold on, is the grand jury making an announcement right now? Hold on.
Yo, my phone is blowing the fuck up right now.
I'm hearing an announcement right now. I'm hearing an announcement right now. Hang on, guys. Hang on, I think they just announced something. I think they just announced something. This is not the press conference. This is the court proceeding. Okay, charges have been filed. Charges will happen. There you go. The jury charges Hankinson with 3 counts of wanton endangerment. One of the officers in the Breonna Taylor raid has been charged. The judge was just live. Okay, there you go. Judge Annie O'Connell. All right, so one of the officers charged. One of the officers has been charged. One officer has been charged. Let me just change the headline here. Breaking news. The press conference is coming up. So there you go. Hankinson is the officer who'd been fired by the department. Judge Annie O'Connell says the jury charges Hankinson with 3 counts of wanton endangerment in the 1st degree. So that's just out. That is just out right now. The announcement came on TV, and they didn't even see the announcement. Okay, here it is. Look, O'Connell is now off the air. 3 counts of wanton endangerment for Brett Hankinson, who was previously fired for firing blindly into the apartment. There you go. That's from Jesse Cohen. So this sounds like maybe that one of the 3 officers will be charged, and the one who was charged is the one who had already been fired by the department. And we read an article before about that officer, and you can see here, the officer who was fired, Hankinson, Officer Hankinson, the former Officer Hankinson who'd been fired, was the officer who blindly fired 10 rounds into a covered patio door and a window, according to the termination letter. The police chief had accused Mr. Hankinson of violating the police department's policy on the use of deadly force, saying his actions were a shock to the conscience that discredited the police department. Okay, so is this going to be will this be the only charges? Again, one officer has been charged in the Breonna Taylor case. We're gonna hear from the Attorney General in 5 minutes. Okay, so that is just breaking news right now. Breaking news right now. All right, let me see if I can get you any more updates. But one of the officers has been charged. 3 counts of wanton endangerment. Here. Former Detective Brett Hankinson has been indicted on 3 counts of 1st-degree wanton endangerment for his role in the fatal police shooting of Breonna Taylor. The other 2 officers were not indicted by the grand jury. Okay. So that report says the other officers were not indicted. Again, the other 2 officers were not indicted by the grand jury. Okay, so we're waiting right now. Any time now, in 4 minutes, we're going to hear from the Kentucky Attorney General. In 4 minutes, the Kentucky Attorney General is giving a press conference, and we will hear from the Kentucky Attorney General talking about this in 4 minutes. That's coming up. But just to repeat, of the 3 officers who were involved in which Breonna Taylor ultimately died, 1 officer charged, 2 officers will not be charged. The officer who was charged is the officer who's already been fired by the department. Okay, and again, this is a raid that happened in March where police were at Breonna Taylor's apartment. They had a warrant to do a knock and announce themselves warrant, and they were looking for her former boyfriend, as I understand it, who was in the apartment, and she had severed ties with him, and she was at the apartment with her then current boyfriend, and then the police ended up they banged on the door, then they bashed down the door. The police say they announced themselves. The boyfriend, Breonna Taylor's boyfriend, says he didn't hear an announcement. He said he feared for his safety when the door was bashed down. He fired a shot at the police. It hit one of the officers. Breonna Taylor 5 times.
Did my first tattoo on myself when I was 16, bro. Had that shit right there since I was 16 years old. Did that shit with a fucking safety pin. And then after I did that with a safety pin, then I did that with a safety pin. And after I did that with a safety pin, then I did that with a safety pin. And then after I did fucking safety pins on myself, bro. Because I was the shit with the tattoos. Doing that shit traditional Inca style. The poke technique. That shit is in the past, though. You know what I'm saying? It's the only tattoo that somebody else put on me is this shit right here. I didn't do that. But my shit's all faded as shit, like, just from the technique and how old they are. Like, these shits are fucking 20 years old now. But this was at a time where you couldn't get a legal tattoo. Yeah. So in the state that I grew up in, when I was growing up, tattooing was basically illegal in the state. You could not get a tattoo license. You could not own a tattoo parlor. It's just the state didn't allow that shit, you know what I'm saying? They didn't want tattooing going on in the state. So if you got a tattoo, you had to go north to the next state up or go south to the next state down to get your tattoos, or find somebody who just know how to do that shit in their garage or basement or back room or whatever. And so after I practiced on myself a couple times, and then I practiced on some friends a couple times, I got kind of good at it. And so the first time I did that shit, I was 16. But by the time, like, I was 2-3 years into that shit, like I was 17 and 18, like those 2 summers, I had a job, but like when I was 17, like that summer, I made a lot of fucking money just doing tattoos, yo. I did tattoos all fucking summer, yo. I ain't go nowhere. I ain't really hang out. Well, hanging out, like doing tattoos was hanging out. I'm over here with these motherfuckers, over here with these motherfuckers. People coming to me all the time, like, and then as soon as, like I say, there wasn't a lot of ways you can get a tattoo. So I give a motherfucker a tattoo. Now they walk around with a fresh ass piece, and everybody like, yo, where the fuck you get a tattoo from? Who did that? And then money. I was fucking killing it, yo. I killed that shit for like 2 summers, yo. 17, 18, I was killing that shit with the tattoos, yo. Making like $1,000 a week. You know what I'm saying? Doing tattoos. And I had a little bullshit fast food job. So I was selling weed, I had a job at the fast food burger joint, and I was doing tattoos. I was guapping. Three sources of income. Three sources of income. Now I only got two sources of income. I'm about to have a third source of income. If I can start selling my product, that'd be a third source of income. But I still have a regular job. I sell my art. It's two sources of income. I need one more source of income. I really need to get some properties and just get a rental property and then just have somebody pay me to live in the house that I own. That's the lovely shit, yo, that real estate. This my house, but I'll let you live there for $950 a month. Give it up every month. Give it to me. $950. I need some shit like that. I just be sleep, making money. You know what I'm saying? Just making money. You gotta have more than one source of income. I was balling when I was young, boy, yo. I was balling. I ain't gonna lie, yo. Cars. I'm like one of the only niggas I know that really. I always had my own crib, yo. When I moved out the house, I dropped out of school and moved out the house when I was 18. I've been living on my own since 18. I ain't never had that like live with no girlfriend or none of that shit, yo. Just cause I always. Hey, well, I had some rough patches. I ain't gonna lie. I had some really rough patches in life years ago, and had to start back over. But I bounced back pretty quick. But in my young days, when I was like the don't give a fuck attitude, that's why I had fucking rough patches because I started giving a fuck and left a lot of the illegal shit alone. And when you don't, that illegal money be so good, but you ain't want to risk your freedom. So I'd rather be broke and free on the streets and living my life instead of having a lot of money and risk going to fucking jail all the time. That shit ain't never settled well with me. But when I was young and didn't give a fuck, I was a little baller, yo. Necklaces and chains and gold teeth, the rings and watches, the cars, everything, yo. And a lot of, like I say, like a couple summers, a lot of that money came from just doing tattoos, yo. Just doing fucking tattoos, cause nobody else could do that shit. And a girl taught me how to do that shit, yo. Taught me how to do the jailhouse method of the poke technique. Like she showed me that shit in like 15 minutes, and then I sat and watched her do two tattoos and just saw how she did that shit. And I went home and just tried that shit on myself. I was like, oh shit, I got a fucking tattoo, yo. 16 years old, that shit ain't never came off, bro. I got kind of good at it. How much do my paintings cost? Uh, ain't no two paintings the same. So on average, all my shit more than $1,000. I know you in the UK Jack the Ripper, so that's what y'all use euros. It's more than 1,000 euros on average for my own art. Now this is not for me. I'm painting this for somebody else. This is a commission job, and so my commissions are a little bit cheaper than my personal work, but like you still gotta pay for this shit. I can't give it up. So, but normally right around $1,000, you can get a painting from me. Now, if you want some of my good shit, some of my hot shit, I just sold a painting for $8,000, and I still think that was cheap. I should have sold that shit for 12,000. But you know what I'm saying? All my hot shit, that shit, motherfucking, I priced my shit $6,000, $7,000, $8,000. Oh, pounds. 1,000 pounds. That shit sound heavy. Mm. Oh yeah. These shits are better than good, man. They're fantastic. They're amazing. They're stupendous. They're works of art. They're masterpieces. If I do say so myself, I have look at masterful art, and when I look at masterful art, I say to myself, "You can do that." And then I look at my art and I say, "That's amazing that you actually did that." You know, it's a masterpiece. That's all I create, bad masterpieces. You know what I'm saying? Try to go down in history with this shit. You gotta put in the time and effort, though, man. That's all it take. Prince is 4 P's. The 4 P's, man. Passion, patience, practice, and persistent. If you persistent, that means you putting in the time. You practicing. You putting in the time. You gotta have patience, because it takes time. That's all it is. If you put a almost made me cough. If you put enough time in, it'll be a masterpiece. Masterful. Wheezing kind of strong this afternoon. It's really, really strong. But what we're gonna do is work on his shirt because everything has 2 layers of paint on it except his shirt. Normally, I put 3 layers of at least 3 layers of paint. Sometimes 4, 5, 6, depending on how complicated, how detailed, how textured the image is. But on this one, I can probably get away with just 3 layers of paint. So maybe I might can do it in 3, yo. So right now you can see like his shirt just looks different from everything. Well, you probably can't tell it from way back there. But his shirt, everybody says I look like Snoop Dogg, but when you put a picture of me and Snoop Dogg side by side, we look nothing alike. That's just that all black people look the same thing, man. I look nothing like Snoop, bro. I don't know why everybody says that. It's maybe because y'all don't hang out with black people enough, or you don't have enough black people in your friend group. Cause I look nothing like Snoop Dogg at all, yo. But you can see like how choppy the shirt is. The paint is overlapping here on that brush stroke over the black, and it's not a lot of detail, and it's just really blocky. But you can see how smooth the skin textures are and how smooth the bracelet and jewelry is. So what I want to do is go over this shirt, apply the second layer of paint to the shirt, and see how we looking from there. So I'm gonna jump in some blues and some whites and see what's gonna be popping with this shit. God damn, my phone sound like it's a video game right now. Bing. What the hell? Is somebody playing Sonic on this motherfucker? Oh, I know what that is. My people just got a motherfucking medical card, yo. What the fuck? Not that medical card. Oh my god. Alright. Sushi. $500 for that? See. Woo. $500 for the face? Damn, bro. See how my bank account set up? I can only spend money on legitimate shit that is actually gonna add some value to my life. And since I can make that shit on my phone, I give you $379. I ain't giving you $500 for that shit. That's too much. I give you $375. That's my art. Pay me $500 now. Yo, can I stream? Yo, am I gonna have to put my phone on silent? And then people be like, why you have your phone on silent? That's why. Especially when I'm at work and it's like ding, bing, ding, and it's like, just let me turn my phone on silent. Even when I'm home sometimes, I just get tired of hearing so much. Jeez. You know what? It's a self-portrait. It's how I look all the time. You keep making that face, it's gonna get stuck like that. Now this dude just look like that all the time. Yeah, this is my house. So I'm on the 3rd floor. I have another room over there. That's like my storage room. I just keep like canvases and extra easels and lights and shit over there. And in here is like where I paint. Got my mini fridge, so I keep me some cold waters. And I got a painting of me. And then I got another painting with me in it. And then I got another painting of me. But I don't like looking at myself all the time. It ain't like I just put 3 big ass paintings of myself so I can face it the whole time and just constantly look at myself. I ain't do that on purpose. I'm not conceited, not one bit. You know what I'm saying? I don't think highly of myself at all. What up, Panama? Chilling. I'm chilling, bro. I wish I could show y'all how messy this other room is. I say that shit is just canvases and old paintings and easels and boxes, and I need to clean that room up. There's a lot of stuff over there. I may need to go canvas shopping too. I'm getting low on a couple of different sizes of canvas. Can't run out of those. Like this size canvas right here, this is 24 by 30, or 30 by 24. Like I only got a few of them left. I only got like 3 more of them shits left, yo. Gotta go grab like 5 of them. Gotta have shit in the stash. I need some of these, and I need some smaller ones, like some 18 by 24s, something. I need to go canvas shopping soon. The vodka. I got some tequila. That tequila be hitting the spot. That shit make you feel strong. Make me feel strong at least. I don't know about y'all, but I feel strong as hell when I drink tequila. Make my muscles get bigger. You ever notice that? Drink some tequila, man, your muscles get bigger. I'm gonna start painting in a minute. He was listening to this Breonna. What's her name? Breonna Taylor. The cops were on trial today, I guess. I think one of them got convicted. But we'll see. This shit be crazy, yo. These cops be killing motherfuckers and they don't never get considered as a murderer. Like, you just murdered that person. Yeah, you're a cop. You got your badge. You ain't no judge and executioner, man. You need to lock these motherfuckers up, send their ass to jail, and let them go before a jury of their peers. You don't supposed to kill them on the goddamn spot. You just murdered that person, yo. You know, that girl got murdered in her own home. And cops ain't going to jail. That's nice. I know a couple cops. One of my really good friends is a police officer in New York City. Like, one of the cities with the highest crime, yo. My man's a cop in Brooklyn. I talk to a cop all the time, and when shit like this happen, me and him have conversations about this shit, yo. And he gives me a cop's perspective. But on top of that, he was military before he was a cop. He went over to Iraq and all that shit. Was in the army for years. And then after he got out of the army, then he became a police officer. So he know all his shit. He know more shit than most cops know, because he know military. He know that real heavy military training shit too. And regular civilian cop training. And he's a good cop. He's a good dude. Good, honest dude. Straight up. He's a straight up motherfucker, yo. Got a lot of love for him. And like I say, we talk a lot. And we don't be talking, we talk about bullshit, video games and the weather and all that shit, but most of our conversations be on some real shit, yo. And he tell me shit that go on the job, shit he experienced, shit he be going through. You know what I'm saying? But he one of them good cops though. One of the few who he put a complaint in against his partner one time. You know what I'm saying? That's how good he is. You do something wrong in front of him, he gonna tell on you. A female cop did some dumbass shit that he didn't agree with, and he told that shit, yo. That's a good cop. Told on his own partner. You know what I'm saying? He not with none of the fuck shit. I work in the prison, same shit. You're a correctional officer. A guy I work with, he was a correctional officer for years. He did like 15 years inside of prison, yo. And now he works with a prison program, but he goes in and does like he gives classes and stuff. Like GED classes and finance classes and other shit like that. So he's still in the prison center, but he in the prison system, but he's not a correctional officer anymore. That's just like the rapper Rick Ross. That shit's so funny. Like he was a correctional officer, but then he talks about all these drugs and shit. Like, dude, you used to work in the prison, man. What you talking about? But I don't know. I thought about being a cop too, but man, I'll be like Alonzo from Training Day. That's the kind. I just know. Don't give me that kind of authority and power and shit, man. I'm robbing all the dope boys. You want to go to jail or you want to go home? Give it up then. No, my camera not on. What you got in your pockets? Give me that. And the money. Oh, you made it. What? It's like $2 grand, nigga. You been out here working today. Thank you. Take your weed. Take your money. Take your ass on. Don't let me catch you out here no more. You know? That's the kind of cop I'll be. I already know. That's why I never did that shit. I'm taking advantage. Y'all want to play these motherfucking street games? I'm going to play right along with you. I'm going to play right along with you. We going to see how this work out. I'm going to come out on top. I'm a cop. Yeah, right. And back in the day when I was in the streets, yo, we had a cop like that. There's one motherfucker, yo. Motherfucking name, his real name was Ransom. Like you hold somebody hostage and you ask for a ransom. His Ransom Bird. But everybody call him RoboCop. Cause motherfucker thought he was fucking RoboCop, yo, swear to God, yo. Motherfucker Ransom Bird. That motherfucker would take your drugs, yo. Yeah, take your shit. I'm doing you a favor, is what he said. I'm doing you a favor. And this was back in the day, like before it was mandatory for cops, all that body camera and all that shit, man. Motherfuckers ain't had that shit. And I'm from a little small ass town too. And nigga was a bully. A black dude, straight bully. Give it up. Tell you take your drugs, take your money, tell you he doing you a favor. You want to go to jail or you want to go home? Motherfuckers rather go home. He got my cousin. I was right with him when he got my cousin one time. That shit been crazy. It's like I seen him hit my cousin up, and then he come walking back to the car. He just cursed, yo, this motherfucking dickhead ass motherfucking bitch, yo, took all my motherfucking shit. I'm like, what? Like, I thought you was about to go to jail. He was like, nah, that nigga just robbed me. How you get robbed by the police? Yeah. I say that's why I don't fuck around in the streets no more, man. I done seen too much. I done got away with enough shit. I'm good. I was a smooth criminal because I ain't never do no real bid or nothing. Smooth criminal. I got away with enough. Y'all ain't never catch me. I ain't trying my luck no more. I'm tired of rolling the dice now. I done had a lot of fun. Just like I say, had just money to blow and spend. And I said when I was 19, I left the state and move to Philadelphia by myself. No friends, no family, no job, no nothing. I just had guap though. I had that bread. I know I'll be all right when I get there. Set up shop. I used to be crazy. Old trap house. Motherfucker wonder how I got that name Trap. That shit it was some real shit. Alright, after work stream, I done run my mouth for almost an hour. We gotta paint. I already got a little bit of blue. I'm gonna need a different blue. Let me look at the picture first. See his shirt. This shit kind of speckled, like that shit. What they call that? Like acid wash. Y'all remember? We used to call it ashy wash. But like an acid kind of wash. Like it's not a solid blue. It's kind of like speckled a little bit. So we're gonna try to get that effect in there as best as we can. So I'm gonna need some dark blue. I'm gonna get some Prussian blue and some cobalt blue. And then I already got a little bit of cerulean blue on there. And there's some white on there. So all I gotta do is put the two blues, the two darker blues. Alright. About to start painting. Yo, some crazy shit too. Yo, my name is really starting to fucking circulate, yo. Like, how I got these commissions right here is crazy. Goddamn. So two people I don't even know at all, never met, never spoke to, don't know these people. So these two people are sitting in a cafe, and from my understanding, they don't even know each other. Bunch of strangers, right? But anyway, two people are sitting in a cafe. They spark up a conversation. A gentleman and a young lady, and the gentleman mentions something about art. He wants to get some art done, and the young lady says, "Hey, you want somebody to paint something for you? Check this guy out." And she goes to my Instagram and shows him my artwork on Instagram, and then he contacts me and says, "Hey, you came highly recommended as an artist. Can you do this project for me?" I said, "Sure." I shot him a price. Same day, he sent me a deposit. He was like, "Let's do it." I'm like, "Great." And so I got started on it. And then, like a couple days later, he said, "I got another one for you." I'm like, "Okay." He sent me the picture. I looked at it. I gave him a price. Motherfucker shot me a deposit for it, like immediately. I'm like, okay, and that's that painting right there. So I'm gonna do that one next. And then I try to keep in contact with my clients and show them update photos and the progression of the art. And so the other day I showed him how far I am now, and he says, "I have another project for you. I want a painting of my dog done." I'm like, "Cool, no problem." And then today he says, he texts me. He's like, "Hey, I was talking about you to a guy at the frame shop, and he says, 'Oh, you know him? I love his work. I would love for him to do a show here, because it's a framing shop where you get your paintings and whatever framed, but they have a gallery there as well.'" So he's like, "Oh, I would love for him to do a show here." So I'm like, "Yo, this one dude is giving me all these fucking commissions, hooking me up with a fucking gallery show. Like, this dude just come out of nowhere. And it's like, that's what's up, homie. You my new favorite client, yo. My new biggest client. God damn. This motherfucker's spending like thousands of dollars with me right now. And I've been wanting to do an upgrade to my car, but I was hesitant because it's gonna be so expensive to like upgrade. My car doesn't have a navigation system in it, but I wanna put a navigation system and a backup camera. So I was thinking about it for a while, but I was like, I ain't doing that shit, man. That shit gonna cost too much. But now I got these commissions. It's like, hey, thanks, bro. You just helped me get my my tech upgrade for the car. I'm gonna have to squeeze this out. Let me see. Where the fuck are you? Shit. Pretty unorganized right now. But so I was a part of to be in a museum exhibit, and it was a juried show, so it was very, selective on who actually made it into the show. And then for each category, the judges gave a first, second, third place, and an honorable mention. And so each category, gets prizes. But then on top of that, for each show, the museum purchases one piece. And this year, this was my first year entering the contest. So I entered the contest for the first time and actually made it. And then on top of that, my piece was selected throughout the whole show to be purchased by the museum to be in their permanent art collection. And the price I had on the piece was $8,000. So far that's the most I've ever sold a painting for. Before that, I've sold a $4,000 painting. And then the next one after that, I think was like $3,200 or something like that. But like $8,000 for one painting is the most I've ever sold so far. Like I said, the painting is worth $12,000. It's really worth. It's really priceless to me. It's priceless. You can't put no price on the quality of that work. You know what I'm saying? But just to get it, for somebody to actually get this, trying to keep it in a price range where I'm not selling myself so short, but I'm not making it completely inaccessible to people. And the thing is, it's crazy that only the museum bought it, because one other buyer, well, I've had two buyers really interested in the piece, but when I told them what I want for it, they try to negotiate and haggle, and I'm not. For that painting, like I said, it's a $20,000 painting. I would accept $12,000, but discounting that shit all the way down to $8,000, I was like, it's good because I wanted somebody to have it, and the simple fact that it's in a museum collection is better than I can expect it. You know what I'm saying? Because if a private buyer would have brought it for their art collection. It would have been in their home, and only the people who have access to their residence or wherever they house the piece would be able to see it. But for the simple fact that it's in a museum, yo, thousands for the next couple of decades, thousands of people are going to be able to see this shit. You know, like, and museums rotate art, so it's not going to be on display forever and always, but they'll bring it back, you know, seasonally, or put it out for Black History Month or whatever. But, you know, in the next 20 years, 30 years that it belongs to that museum, like, thousands of people are going to be able to enjoy this art. So I felt like it was a good move. I priced it. I really did price it to sell, but now I gotta step up my prices even more. I'm in the museum, nigga. My shit is official. I'm goddamn legitimized. You know what I'm saying? As a legitimate artist. Word. So now y'all want some of my shit. That's what I've been trying to tell people for years. I've been doing this shit for 11 years. And for the simple fact that I made up my mind a long time ago. This is what I am. I am an artist. I'm gonna push my fucking art. I'm gonna push myself to be creative, to be, you know, to constantly think outside the box, and to move my shit forward. And so for years I've been telling people, buy this shit now. Buy some art from me now. You better get this shit now, because I'm not gonna fucking stop. And then when I reach that point where I start selling paintings for $15,000-$20,000, then ain't nobody gonna be able to afford that shit. Then you can't have no Travis Prince original. I've been saying this shit for years, yo. I actually told this one dude, yo, this one guy has 7 paintings from me. 7. Because I told him that shit, buy it now, because my name gonna be worth money one day. Just Travis Prince, that shit gonna be worth money. Trust me, because I'm not gonna stop this shit. I'm gonna just get better. I'm only 11 years in. I know old head artists, 55, 60 years old, 62 years old. They've been doing their shit for 40 years. They've been creating art for 40 years. Let me get 40 years under my belt, yo. let me live this longevity and create art for the next 20, 30 years. Bro, my shit gonna be, I can just see where my career is gonna be at. So if you get some shit now, and then it's my early work, man, that shit gonna be priceless, yo. You pay $1,000 for one of my paintings, and man, in 15 years, 20 years, yo, that shit gonna be worth $30,000, $40,000 instantly, cause it's mine. I'm telling you, y'all better get on this shit right now, man. Yes. My ex was calling. Deep. You have the wrong person. I've never owned a 2002 Chevy. My cousin just hit me up. He said, "Is that Saddam Hussein?" You reaching on that one, bro. Like, you really reaching. Is that Saddam? Man, yo. I don't look like no damn Saddam Hussein. I don't see it. I'm trying to see it. I don't know, man. You know what Saddam Hussein looked like? He's still like, is that Saddam? What the hell? Oh, I need another blue. What am I gonna put? Alright, I got cobalt. Put the. I need some more of this. I need some Prussian blue. Like, this was a big tube. Now that shit is rolled all the way up. I can roll it up some more too, because that shit getting slim. Man, we need a lot of that. Not gonna need a lot of that. Alright, people, because I'm about to put this phone on silent. I'm gonna check all my messages real quick. I've been here for an hour running my mouth, so I better not put it on silent. I'm gonna messages. I reply to every text message. Emails. I have no emails in Yahoo. Gmails. I have no. I have an email from work. Hi everyone, this attaches the agenda for our Zoom meeting tomorrow at 9:30. Also attaches the DFSL referral for your files. Looking forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Have a good night. Damn. Okay, I got to take my laptop to work with me tomorrow because I got to have a Zoom team meeting. All right, good thing I read that email. Instagram messages, I answered all those. And Facebook Messenger, no messages there. I'm good to go. All right. Let's pull this up. Let's my speaker cut off. I hate this fucking speaker, yo. This shit is the worst. It is the worst. You know what? I'm about to look on Facebook Market. Bluetooth speaker. $125 for that shit. $75 for the Bose speaker. I got that. I got that speaker. That speaker's pretty good, but it's small, and I don't really want it up there.
Was shot by one or both of the officers who was not charged, and certainly I think that might end up, you might have some people angry about that, but that just was reported by Jesse Cohen. Okay, any moment now we should be getting the press conference from the Kentucky Attorney General. Here we go, we're live now. Let me get this set up here. Play.
Let's paint this shit.
Okay, so this is live. We're about to launch the press conference from the Kentucky Attorney General about this news. Again, the Kentucky Attorney General is giving a press conference, and this will be going live in any moment now, where we will see what the Kentucky Attorney General has to say about all of this. One of the three officers has been charged. Two of the three. Here we go. So we'll come back after the press conference and talk about it more, and we'll take your comments. You can write to me at @Lookner on Twitter. Thank you, by the way, Grom, Punisher, and Billy Blue.
Oh, I thought they got a conviction. So that's the whole. I don't give a fuck about charges. Everybody, see, they charged them. They charged them with the crime, yeah. But getting charged and getting convicted is two different things, bro. I want to see a conviction. You have been convicted for the first-degree murder. I want to hear that shit. Officer has been charged. That's that bullshit. Charged. You know, and then what happened to charges? That story come out. All charges have been dropped. Oh, damn. See? Them charges don't mean shit, bro. Charge a motherfucker all day. All charges was dropped. Man, shit. I want to hear conviction.
And 43J8 and Mr. Fed for your support. And Ryan M. as well, and Kevin Menjares, First Utopia. Thank you for your support. Okay, so this press conference is about to start. Kentucky Attorney General will be discussing the charges again. One of the three officers has been charged. The officer who's been charged is the officer who had already been fired by the department. Apparently, according to a local reporter, the officer who's been charged, none of his bullets hit Breonna Taylor, which would mean that Breonna Taylor was shot by one or both of the officers who will not be charged. So we'll get more details on this, and then right after this press conference, we'll come back
the scapegoat.
here. And I want to hear your thoughts on this. Sorry, the news has been coming out, and so we haven't really had a time to take as many comments as I would like. So we're going to be reading your comments after this. I personally think there might be an issue that there might be. I would not be surprised to see some anger out there about officers, whether or not it's justified anger is up to you. But I do think there will be some anger about the officers. If it's true that the officer who is charged, his bullets did not hit Breonna Taylor, I'm guessing there will be some anger out there about
I need another color. Hold up, guys.
Our officers who actually shot Breonna Taylor were not charged. But that is up to you to decide how you feel about that. But any moment now, we will see the actual press conference pop up, and we will watch it and hear what the Attorney General has to say. And then we will also see what the reaction is going to be in Louisville and around the country to this. And I honestly don't know what it'll be. I don't know if one officer being charged how much that will serve to, calm the feelings
exactly.
of people.
Nothing. You're going to charge one dude, and then later on, next year or sometime down the road, the charges are going to be dropped. And it's like, what the fuck? It's a show. That's all it is. It's a shit show. Fuck that.
June Man fan, our viewer, thinks this isn't justice. So again, one of the three officers charged, two of the three not charged.
He got fired. The guy who's getting charged already got fired. So what? Do you get a pension or something when you get fired? I want to know that part.
Well, we have to hear what
He's still got some government assistance or something, even though he's been fired.
There's a certain crime. I guess wanton endangerment. That's the crime. So at a certain point, you have the law, and the law says anyone who does X is charged with Y. So I'm guessing, and there will be a trial, and in the trial, the prosecution will say, well, the law says anyone who does X is charged with Y, and we're gonna prove to you that this officer did X. So at a certain point, if the person's getting charged, that means the grand jury believes that the person did the conduct that the law prohibits. So we're waiting right now for this press conference. Now it's weird. We heard the sound, and then the sound cut off. It was supposed to be 1:30 p.m. So let me just read you. I'm not going away from this because I don't want to miss the start of the press conference. But let me again just read you the report about what happened. The exact report I've seen. Let's see, right here. Darcy Costello on Twitter, Courier Journal. I believe Darcy Costello on Twitter retweeted Courier Journal. She says, former detective Brett Hankinson has been indicted on 3 counts of first-degree wanton endangerment for his role in the fatal police shooting of Breonna Taylor. The other 2 officers were not indicted by the grand jury. One of 3 officers. Louisville Courier Journal reports. One of 3
what
officers.
What the fuck is that? What is? Describe to me what wanton endangerment
is. The Jefferson County
is.
grand jury has indicted one of the 3 Louisville.
Why can't you get first or second degree murder?
26-year-old Breonna Taylor. He was indicted on former detective Brett Hankinson, who's already been fired by the department.
1 to 5 years.
This is weird. The Courier Journal says that he wasn't even charged for the conduct in the actual raid. Here, this is really important. This is really important. Hold on, let me just show you this real quick. Let me show you this real quick. This is crazy. I'm not saying it's crazy. It's a crazy turn of events. I did not expect this. Look. The officer who is charged, the charges read, said Hankinson wantonly shot a gun into 3 apartments. The occupants of those apartments were identified by initials. None of them were PT. That means it appears the grand jury did not find that Hankinson wantonly fired into Taylor's apartment the night she died. Oh, hold on. Let's go to the press conference. It looks like the officer wasn't even charged. It appears that the officer from the Breonna Taylor raid who was charged wasn't charged for his conduct in that specific raid, right?